This week, a special edition of the Daily Buzz as we mark 30 years of the Business Journal by looking at 30 years of business growth.
Today's Business Journal Daily Buzz is brought to you by Home Savings.
Show your school spirit. Now at Home Savings, you can get a custom debit card with a high school logo on it. More choices coming soon. Member FDIC.
I'm Andrea Wood, publisher of the Business Journal. 30 years ago this week, when we published the first edition of our newspaper, we used typewriters to tap out our story, handed our copy to a typesetter, then watched as the type was pasted up on layout sheets that would be photographed and the negatives printed. In the last 30 years, information technology has changed the way we all do business, and technical innovations here in what was called the Rust Belt have created another new narrative, the Tech Belt. This year, the Business Journal launched our Trending TechBelt series of reports. Here's Stacia Erdis.
To the west, Akron is making waves in the biosciences and polymers. To the north, Cleveland has become a hub of healthcare. To the east, Pittsburgh is at the forefront of robotics. Warren is working on energy innovation, with Youngstown leading the nation in additive manufacturing. Connect the dots and you have the Tech Belt. The Tech Belt Initiative was launched in 2007 by then Pennsylvania Congressman Jason Altmaier and the Valley's Congressman Tim Ryan. Ryan says the driving force behind the initiative was Barb Ewing, now the Chief Operating Officer of the Youngstown Business Incubator. She also serves as co-chair of the Cleveland to Pittsburgh Tech Belt Initiative. It's an unpaid position that complements her work at the YBI. The other co-chairman is DeWitt Pert of the Allegheny Conference, which covers economic development for the 10 counties of southwestern PA. Other economic development partners include the Manufacturing Advocacy and Growth Network, or Magnet, in Cleveland, Innovation Works in Pittsburgh, and the Jumpstart Entrepreneurial Network of Northeast Ohio. The partners themselves fluctuate, as does the budget, this year around $100,000, the money coming from dues and foundations. Since the initiative has no working staff, Pittsburgh Consultants' Fourth Economy is under contract to do the day-to-day work.
So anytime we see a particular, what might be an opportunity, we'll start to gather the information on what assets do we have across the region, identifying if we can have champions, because for it to be a Tech Belt project, it has to be bigger than any one organization in any one state.
The Tech Belt Initiative and the public-private educational collaborations it represents is largely responsible for securing the $30 million federal grant to establish and operate the Additive Manufacturing Research Lab in downtown Youngstown. In downtown Warren, exciting work is also taking place at the Tech Belt Energy Innovation Center.
The roof's going to be
Dave Nestick explains the layout of the future Tech Belt Energy Innovation Center in Warren.
This would be a lot of, where the test equipment would be.
Where we could test ourselves.
Right.
Herb Crowther is CEO of Megajoule Storage. The startup company is based in the Magnet Incubator on the campus of Cleveland State University. Megajoule was founded to commercialize utility-scale energy storage, large-scale batteries that help to improve power quality, reduce cost, and the strain on the power grid during peak use. T-Bike, as it's called, was recently successful in its bid for $250,000 in Ohio capital funds to start purchasing equipment for a testing lab inside the center.
So the Energy Integration Lab is intended to be this shared center that has equipment in it that a company on its own wouldn't purchase because it's too expensive. It'll have specialized equipment that gives them the ability to test their products at really early stages to build proof of concept and demonstrations and show strategic partners or show customers what the value of the technology is.
T-Bike, along with the Youngstown Business Incubator, work regionally with the Jumpstart Entrepreneurial Network. The T-Bike building will not only hold the Energy Integration Lab, but also 10 to 15 startup companies.
Tucked away in the town of Ravenna is just one of these Tech Belt startups. This company born from a plant shut down.
Inside the Catacel Corporation's new plant in Ravenna, employees are working on high-performance heat-exchanging catalysts used in hydrogen production, fuel cells, and advanced energy applications. Vice President of Operations David Becker explains the process.
Our basic raw material for putting, for laying down the catalyst is a thin metal foil. Typically, we think of it as a stainless that's got some aluminum and a lot of chrome in it.
He says a coating is then applied to the foil that contains a catalyst selected for the specific reaction the customer needs. It's then formed into different shapes and placed into a variety of vessels. Catacel's sales have been growing at an extraordinary pace. $2 million in sales in 2012, $3 million last year, and President Bill Wittenberger says they're on target to bring in $5 million this year.
Our biggest customer makes fuel cells that are up in the 100 kilowatt range, and these are used primarily as backup power for companies like Google and eBay and people that run a lot of computers. That's primarily where those fuel cells are going.
Wittenberger grew up in East Palestine and earned his engineering degree at The Ohio State University. He started the company in 2001 after he and several of his co-workers watched their employer in Hiram pack up and move to Alabama. They decided to start their own business and eventually turned to something creating a lot of buzz at the time.
We said, what might we do for fuel cells? What's a fuel cell? And we started learning about that and talking to fuel cell customers and started doing things for them. And so now the fuel cell market is 70–80% of our business right now.
But Catacel is also growing in another direction, catalysts for hydrogen production.
Hydrogen is used in refinery applications. Hydrogen is used to make chips, food, and hydrogen is a big component in fertilizer and in methanol.
Becker believes Catacel's patented stackable structural reactor is going to surpass the fuel cell technology by delivering up to a 30% increase in heat transfer in industrial hydrogen reformers, resulting in reduced fuel consumption. Catacel employs 30 and plans to increase that by 20% this year.
Tomorrow, the difference makers.
It was a 12-year struggle.
I'm Andrea Wood reporting.
Today's Business Journal Daily Buzz is brought to you by Home Savings.
Show your school spirit. Now at Home Savings, you can get a custom debit card with a high school logo on it. More choices coming soon. Member FDIC.